Okay, in this one, we're going to go further into analyzing data. In this case, we're going to be using something called pivot tables to help us get our information. So I'm going to go through one of the examples up here on number one, top 5 movies in each film category. So for you, I will do the top 5 movies, action movies in this case, to show you guys how that can be done. So our step one is to obviously add up all the votes. So we got movie ID and the votes that they got. So I'm going to use something called a pivot table to get that information. So I go to data here, click on pivot table. Now it's going to assume what you want, and usually it's wrong. So as I said, we want to have movie ID and score. Those are the two things I care about. I don't care about user ID in this case, and I don't care about the weight. But I do care about movie ID and their scores. So my label on the left side is going to be my movie ID. And then I want the sum, as you should probably know, this symbol means sum of all my scores. So I'm going to drag that over. So here we go. Movie 1 had a total score of 4,283. Movie 2, etc. So the long way would obviously go, okay, movie 1, go to here, movie 1. Let me just get rid of my filter here. So movie 1, is it an action movie? No. Go back to the next one. And as you can imagine, that is very, very slow. So what I can do is create another sheet down here just for the action movies. So first of all, I'm going to name this one here. Let's name this one Total, for example. Okay. Oops. And then in Total, which should be there. Okay, so I'm going to create another one. I'm going to call this one Action for action movies. So I'm going to go back to my movie tab, and I'll only want the action movies. So I make sure my filters are open. Make sure you click on this button up here. And I don't want anything that's not an action movie. So there you go. So 1 is showing up for my actions. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select the name and movie. So I want column A and column B. I'm going to press Command C to copy. I'm going to go to my action movies and I'm going to paste it. All right. Now what I want is to have their totals showing up here. So for example, I can type in total for their votes. So how do I do that? There's something called VLOOKUP, and this looks, what it does is this. It uses the information from here, okay, and from here to get it into here. Well, actually, in this case, because we already have the votes, we're just going to get the votes to come over here. So give me 1 second to make sure I get this right. VLOOKUP equals V, and it should automatically populate it. Use your right arrow key to move to the left, to the right. I am going to use column A2, right? That's what I want to use my defaults. I'm going to use that information, comma. I'm going to use this spreadsheet down here, so total, make sure I spell it correctly, put an exclamation mark. I'm going to use the information from that sheet. Now remember, it has 2 columns, A and B. So I'm going to go A, colon B, comma 2. Comma 2 basically means I'm going to use information in column 2. Push enter. And so what this says is that movie ID 6 Heat got a total of 1,980. So let's make sure we got that right. So number 6, movie number 6 had this total. Now to make sure, to double make sure I can also use VLOOKUP here. So let's see if I do it really quick to bring in the movies. So if I go up here, I go equals VLOOKUP, and I'm going to use A1 in this case because that's my movie ID. I'm going to move it from the movie, oops, hold on, comma, I'm going to use the movie spreadsheet. I am going to use columns A and B, comma 2. And that is not looking because, that is a good question. Why is that not looking? Hold on, let me pause this. It's not A1, The A1 has no information. It's A5. There we go, Toy Story. And using this little box here, yellow box, I can click it and drag it all the way down to the bottom so that every single movie is done. This is just to double check and to show you how VLOOKUP can look in various ones. So go back up to the top. Let's scroll up here to the top. All right, so number 6 is called the heat. And in here we checked that it's here. So let me scroll this all the way down for all the action movies. Here are my votes. And now don't forget, my question says top 5 movies. So in my action movie, I want the top 5 of these. So if I go here, now let's see if ascending works. No, see, it doesn't seem to be organizing this at all. So what I can do is this instead. I can expand this, and I can scroll to the bottom, and, oh, hold on, let me uncheck everything, obviously. Go to the bottom, and check my top 5, or 5. So here you can see that Pulp Fiction was my top one, followed by True Lies, Batman, etc. And you can just write those down. So let me do one more. And you can follow along for the next one. So the next one, so again, film categories. So let's go to my movies, and we're going to take rid of this filter, and I'm going to do animation. So only animation movies are going to show up. So all my ones are here. All of these look like they're already selected. Yeah. So I'm going to copy. Go to my new sheet. I'm going to call this one sheet animation. I'm going to paste. So there are all my Toy Stories and animation movies. And here I'm going to do my VLOOKUP. So I'm going to go equals V, right arrow, and I'm going to use the information from A2 from my total spreadsheet, comma, no need a comma? I forget, hold on. Nope, no need a comma after that. So after exclamation mark, A colon B comma 2, and close it off, and there's my total. All I have to do is drag this down to the bottom, okay? And then bring in my filter and choose my, deselect everything, go to the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there are my top 5 animation movies, top one being, looks like Aladdin. Okay, write those all down. As you go through all of this, okay, what's important is setting up the spreadsheets. All right, that's about it. Good luck with the rest of the questions.